Matthew Carricker, and this is me. Before we begin, I'd just like to say that we acknowledge that in Milwaukee, we live and work on traditional Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee homelands along the southwest shores of Michigami, part of the North America's largest system of freshwater lakes, where the Milwaukee, Menominee, and Kinnickinnic rivers meet, and the people of Wisconsin's sovereign Anishinaabe, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Oneida, and Mohican nations remain present. And so without further ado, this is XLDM. Okay, well, today is a shorter stream, and we will be looking at, actually, a viewer-submitted spreadsheet. Get that up, get rid of that. Yes, today we are looking at a spreadsheet submitted by, well, it's in the name of the stream, which I can't see, blaidd, I think. Let's just get that up. Yes, user blaidd31204. Thank you for being the first community member to send in your work for the XLDM. We're looking at here an equipment system. I haven't actually looked at this, and I only have an hour. So blaidd has a particular problem that he wants me to fix, but before that, let's just take a little tour and see what's going on. Okay, so I can see down here we got README, so let's go here. README. We got some links to various places. Economic, blah 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 blah. It's very interesting. Cool, cool. Online resources for oh, it's quite a lot here actually. Wow. Okay, so what's at the top here? Multiple sources, combine them into one file so as to allow for easier manipulation using several variables. Drop the line, size of your location, population, distance of location from trade route. Wow, okay, good. Charisma score, proficiency and persuasion. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. I haven't used Excel in a while, which is funny because I am the XLDM, but oh yeah, I've been using Google Sheets. So maybe under view, zoom. Okay, don't know. Oh wait, down here. There we go. So directions for use, right? Tables tab, merchant tab. In the Merchants tab, you can find a recommendation for what types of merchants may be available in a particular size town. Cell B3, pre-fills from the Tables tab, but you must enter the actual number of residents of your town in cell B4. So let's have a look at that. B3, B4. From table. Right, so if I put in 15,000, okay, this works, and we've got what is this? This is rand between 1 and 4 plus rand between 1 and 4 plus rand between 1 and 4 plus rand between 1 and 4 minus 10 times 10 divided by 100. Okay, and that's a random local modifier, which is, right, 44 minus 10 divided by 10. Number recommended businesses for this town is sum C10 to C91, which is C90. Number recommended businesses for this town. Right, I see that this sums C10 to C90. Does it do G? I wonder. Let's have a look. No. So there should be sum plus this, I think. Okay. So fascinating. I think it's so cool that other people are doing this sorts of stuff, and that blaidd has reached out to me, and now I'm looking at it, and it's really cool. Okay, let's have a look here. So this is the main page, which I suppose has a list of items associated with a merchant and a category, and then I guess the columns going right-wise from AH are, right, how you can have, so you've got the merchant category here, but you might want an item showing up in multiple lists, or, right, so you see, for example, barbed arrows, I guess, they available from the armorer and the bowyer. Cool. What's this? Is this a, what are we doing for time? Okay, so let's see what else we've got. Currency, buckles, darracks, lunars, crowns, and florins. Cool. And you seem to have, yeah, a thing here. This is all familiar. Personalized. Now this is the point where, okay, so we've got, yeah, a map, and you'll notice a frustration, blaidd, when it comes to having this as an image, right, and then trying to turn that into tabularized data. There's a whole thing. There's a whole thing. Looking cool though. Let's go back to personalized. Okay, so let me just, I'm gonna have to get up the message from blaidd here. So let me just copy paste this into Excel. And then we'll just, here we go. So what I'm trying to do, let's see. So what I'm trying to do is to use the drop-down list on the personalized tab in B1. To populate the cells below by a dynamic list with only the equipment from the main tab, that's meant to be, that has a cost above 0. Good, good. So I already suggested using the right, so there is a unique formula here. So let's have a look. So what we want to do is have a list here of the different merchants, which we already have. And then when we click on Alchemist, say, we just want this to fill with the stuff from main. Only the stuff from main in which, now, this might be our first issue. So only the stuff from main tab that has a cost above 0 and probably based on the merchant list. Now, is it based on, oh, okay. No, yeah. Apothecary, arcane, chandler, clergy, copyist, esoteric, finesmith, glassmaker. This is a list of alchemists, arcane, okay. But when we go to personalized, we're only getting individual businesses. So that means that these are compounded. There's a text join here. There's a text join from the AH. Okay, cool. So, right, okay. So that means that, yeah. Text join. Okay, cool. Right, okay, that makes sense. So, let's have a look. Personalized alchemist. So where are we going to look, right, to get that alchemist? Well, okay, so we can look in this list to retrieve only the items that say alchemist. Now, I notice here that you have ammunition, armor. Are these items or are these categories? Because that could get confusing. Looks like these are categories. But when they're brought over, they should be fine. Should be fine. Because of the way it's presented, it'll be similar to here. Right, so let's just see if this will work. So I'm gonna Google. Yeah, so this is what I was thinking. Unique filter range 1 if range 2 equals A1. So pretty much we can just range 2 equals B1. Range 1 is what we want, which is going to be main, and then the item name. If range 2, which is going to be right, okay, see, we need a distinct range to equal alchemist here. Now, what immediately comes to mind is we have a helper column in main, which, based on the personalized option, is going to refill with either a yes or a no about whether that item row is follows the criteria, and then we can just have a unique sort based on that. What would that look like? Well, I see that you have a blank column here, so maybe just use that one for now. Why does this seem so small? It's really small. Okay, so this is just going to be a helper. Oh, no. Oh, it's still doing that. Okay, so we're going to go to main. We're going to make this bigger. We're going to call this helper. And then we're going to have an AND function, right? So the AND is going to be, and I see here the currency is, so you've done here, so 25, blah, blah, blah. Actual. What's that? Is that actual? Yeah. So that converts everything into 225. What about where these all? Okay, so here that's five copper pieces. And some of them are 0. There is some which are 0. Or X. No. Oh, I see. So is that how these ones are not carrying over? Maybe, what was this? We've got 54 something here. Antitoxin vial. Right, yeah. Let's get this helper down. So we want an AND function. Firstly, this is greater than 0. But also, I'm just going to put a blank in here. No. So also, personalized B1. I think that's how you do it, isn't it? Personalized B1. No. Yeah. And, yeah. Over here, personalized B1. Let's get rid of the AND just now and focus on the thing we're going to put in the AND first. So what we want it to do is here, see alchemist, that's there, that says alchemist. So we want it to basically say, yes, that says alchemist. So equals, first thing we want to do is identify the column, because that's also named after the thing. So we want to match dash see what happens when we do a match. 35, because that is column 35 is AH. Looks about right. So that's telling us basically that that's that. Now if I put in equals column 25, what is it? Never sure what that column function does. Let's just look it up. Column function, Microsoft support. Column function has a syntax example. Column, I put 2, column in which the formula appears. Right, so, okay, so if I just do this, there's 33, so that is working right. Okay, that's good. And then we can use that in an index match now, that column number to basically say, yeah, so now that we've isolated this column to look in, we then want to instruct it to return whether it equals that, right? So then, how do you turn a column numeral into a letter? Example formula, convert column number to letter. Substitute, no. Yes. Well, this one seems to work. Column number. Right. AI. No. Oh yes, it is. It's not AH, it's AI. Good. So, so now what we're gonna, I've done this before. Let's see, index. Index what? Well, we want to index. We want to build. Do we need to build the reference? We do. So we've got the AI there. So indirect. We can use the indirect formula to sort of, instead of writing in an exact reference like AG6, we can programmatically build a reference for it to work with. Yes, so for example, if I put an indirect AI, that's going to bring up if I put indirect AI, oh, what does that do? Okay, so it has to contain, we can build a reference here, right? So this would be AI plus the row, which we're going to look in, which is A5. And then, bingo, it says alchemist. So that looks in that reference and returns whether it's true. Okay, so now what we need to do is put all of these together, basically. So we got the match, right? And we got the match here. What that does is it gets our number 35, right? Which it puts in the middle here. So we take this. See if I can. How can I zoom? People seeing this, okay? It's very small. It's very small, and I wonder if people can see what I'm doing. So let's just. No, it's not gonna work like that. So we're compiling this together. So we take the formula here, the substitute, right? And we're gonna put that here, and instead of the 35, we're gonna put in the formula that kind of makes that say 35. So we're making that, and then that should just give out the same, which is the reference to the appropriate cell for this row we should be looking in. And then what we want to do is have an indirect AG5 and then return what that says, right? So then what we do is we cloak then indirect, and that now says alchemist, okay? And then all we have to do, very simply, is put in an if function that says if that equals personalized B1, and we're going to put it like that, then true, otherwise false. No, I actually don't think I think it's going to do that anyway. No. Oh, 1 or 0, that's fine. Okay, so now this simply returns whether or not we want it. And then let's have a look at these. Dress match personalized. This row should stay the same. That should be the same. Row A5, that changes. That's okay. So we can actually apply this formula to the whole thing, but we also want to put an AND function. Because we want, based on what Thingy said, what blaidd said, we want it to apply only to products which have a value greater than 0. So that means that, oh dear, what is all this? Right, okay, so actual cost R should be, but then we have another costing here, or it's working out that and then it's bringing back here. What's that? Override default is blank, and yeah, well, override cost. So I'm not quite sure where I'm supposed to be looking for the price here, and also you have frozen the columns. So let's just come out of this and move that back. And now I'm going to assume that this price here, the actual, like for example, the cost here is 2.34. Okay, okay. This is the adjusted cost. Here we have the actual cost. Oh, I see. So does this, what is this? This is a smart thing. Here we go, ifs. So, okay. Okay, that's fine. So we've got this helper here. And that's returning whether or not we want that to be the thing. And for now, we'll leave the cost out of it. Okay. So what we want to do is copy this formula all the way down to wherever the bottom is. Oh. Right. 2,000 rows. And make that an appropriate size. And now we have all of these ones. Now over here in personalized, we can have main CC, right, if main AG3 helper, right, equals B1. We're gonna firstly do that, and then maybe we should, I'm not quite sure how that. So main CC, and then we go to main, and we're just gonna put AG to AG equals 1. Done. Formula spilled. That's the unique formula does spill downwards because it's filling out the thing. And now this is everything that you should, wow, this is really extensive stuff. I like this. I see it's all, so we could maybe even make it look nice. Oh, and actually, sorry, I've not even done the best part. So B2, where, I mean, where would we want it to? We would want it to probably to hold on. It seems that on this page you want it to source, right? Source. So on this page, where's source? X. Excellent. Okay, so paste this in. We want to filter C to X if AG to AG equals 1. That's a formula in one cell, and it's done. It's done. It's done, people. Now we want proper. That should fix it. Alrighty, and Hesto presto. Oh, what's this? Something's off here. Because these are not the same columns as in main. So let's take this over to here and see what's different. Yeah, see, things are different. Let's this and bring it over here. Do that. Yes. Right, there we go. Sorts itself out, yeah, but we want to get rid of that perhaps. And maybe we can move this here to C1. Don't know. Right, good. So to tidy it up, we're now in some sort of constraint. We've got some constraints to consider. It's only 1/2 past. Look at that. We solved the problem. It's only 1/2 past. Firstly, all of this stuff we don't need. So we can delete. And then hide. Second of all, right, damage type. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Bludgeon, etc. Okay, good. Notes. Some of these have notes. Good. It's interesting. I've never seen one of these before. Okay. What's hiding up here? Dollar. Okay. Well, that's pretty much the problem solved, blaidd. Let's just recap on how exactly I did it. So if I choose barber, for example, yeah, you see it's gonna bring up all of the items that are sold at the barbers. How does it do that? Well, in A6, which I'll just highlight for you, we have a proper unique filter nested formula where the unique returns unique items which meet the filter condition. That filter condition is that it's going to return all of the things from A to X which meet this criteria. The actual criteria work, however, is displaced to a helper cell because we need to do a Boolean check for each item every time you change this. So that's an AG to AG on the main page, and it's just if E equals 1 because that means it's true. So if we go to the main page and we have a look here at AG to AG, you can see our helper column here. And what does it ask here? Well, so what does it ask here? Well, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. But if you go through the video, you can see my stages of developing it. And I do it across multiple cells. I don't try and just type it out. So we have here, if indirect. So that's saying, if indirect, substitute address, match, and row equals personalized, blah, 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 blah. So that's saying, firstly, there's an if here, which returns either 1 or 0. So everything before that is the condition that either generates yes or no. And in English, what we're asking is this item sold here? But because of the way you've organized your data, what we need to do in order to answer that question, is the item sold here, is to look into the column you have here and to see whether that word is there. So if we've chosen barber, right, or alchemist or whatever, we're looking in this alchemist column. You've got them here for each of your business types, and we're testing to see if that cell contains the word. So testing to see if that cell contains the word, what we do is well, to see if it contains the word, what word? Well, equals personalized B1. That's the word. So what does that equal? Well, row A5. So that's a relative address without the anchoring of the dollar signs. And so that's going to be different for each one going down. You see A6, A7, A8, A9. And that row just returns the number, because our indirect formula, what we're basically doing is, because it's programmatic, right, and we don't want to have to put in the same, it's programmatic which column we're looking in, right, because it changes depending on the user or what business you want to look, what business the user wants to look at. So because that changes, we do a match based on the business chosen, looking in row 3, right, to find the column number where that is, and then that returns a column, so AI, AK, AM, and row, whatever row it is. So we build an address for a cell, and then once we built that address programmatically, what this returns, so if is there not a thing in Excel where I can do indirect, right, this stuff, and if I hit F9, it works it out. No. So basically, all of this indirect stuff here, all the way to A5, is finding an address to look in. And that address is going to be one of the columns here. It's going to be one of the columns here. And then it basically asks whether that contains the word. And then if it does, it returns a 1. If it doesn't, it returns a 0. Easy. Now, yep. Alright, good. Well, that's basically it. There we go. So I'm going to save that now, so I can send that back to you, blaidd. And I've still got time. I've got 20 minutes. So I wonder if there's something else I would like to do today. Let's find out. Okay, let's have a look now. We're back. We're back. Good. So, picking up off of where we were last time as I drink my coffee. We're currently doing this whole NPC thing. And based off of, since last time, I've actually continued working on it. So the way that it works now is we were kind of doing this fun thing where, based on the scores of the NPC, it does a check based on a list of attributes which return strings that qualify the scores. So sheaves are cropped. I also, off camera, added grungles or goblin names, name generator to the thing. So now these are all, so Beerlax Churd is anxious based on her current psych score, okay? Because her psych is 8. And then what happens is, over here, so yeah, so in our formula strings here, the way that this translates is first name is mood based on lower his current lower trait score. So here we've got trait score, we've got mood, and what this does is it says if the score in question is either really low, low, high, or really high, it returns the appropriate text piece to then be inserted here. And because it's always like twitching, right? It's always randomly recalculating based on what comes out. The important thing is that it provides me a kind of a glimpse. All I need is a glimpse, right, into somebody's mood or disposition. And then every couple of seconds, it should just beep, right? So if I do that, see? Every time it computates, it brings up a different sentence. So Bleerlax is disorganized and casual based on her current psych score. And then because that system is all set up, right, in which, why does that? Because the system's all set up, I can basically add more. And there's some which are missing. Now, if I was a really popular streamer, right? If I was a really popular streamer, I could make this sheet publicly available to my audience who could then fill in the manual data entry, but I'm not, so I have to do it on myself. So let's just do a couple of examples. So this is a wisdom score based, the factor is aggressiveness. So if you have a really low wisdom score, you're gonna be compulsively violent. If you have a low wisdom score, you're going to be recalcitrant. Recalcitrant, which means that you're just always niggling authority. You don't like being told what to do, and you respond in a sort of aggressive manner. If you're medium, then we could put in control of impulses. And if it's high, then we could put not sure. And then the idea is that these just fill up here. Bleerlax is conscientious based on her current wisdom score, you see. Now, of course, based off last time, the NPCs that we're choosing are programmatically created based on Society 2, and these are saved from the individual tab, where it's constantly just generating possibilities, structural potentials, and when we hit that add button, it adds them as values, which we can then interrogate and use. So so we're sort of in this composition phase, right, where we can very quickly, we want to basically create the impression that these randomly created, socially created NPCs are, we can qualify them, right? We've quantified them, now we want to qualify them. Okay, so no. Here we go. Remember, we're generating society. That's the theme just now in our projects. And because in the past I've generated NPCs and been able to qualify, what's this? We got a meeting in 15 minutes. Because I've been able to qualify individuals, I want to be able to qualify statements that aren't reducible to the individual, which are reducible to the community, to society, to the kinship structure. So one thing we could think about would be ordering relations in a way and then qualifying them in a similar fashion. So, and I'm not quite sure if I'm a fan of this blaidd31204 as one of 5 siblings. I was kind of hoping that we could programmatically present. Well, do I have time to do that? I can probably do that. So we go to here. Where am I keeping it? Here we go. If we copy this and bring it back to here. So how can we make this dynamic? Well, let's have a look. So it seems like what we would need to do is have a list here, and let's just put in A1, B2, C3, D4, and E5, and then we can go here, delete that, put that instead. P to Q, yeah. What's going on here? Huh. So here, this is based on N to AA. Right, okay, so it really does take in everything, okay. Individual, society, no, NPC. Right, okay, so if we go A, B, C, right, and then D, and then we go 1, 2, 4, one column is required. Yeah. Maybe it has to be like letters. Okay, now it works. Right, yeah. So what I'm thinking is I want a kinship chart here that's going to dynamically fill up based on a drop-down choice. So we could put like we could put that here, but the drop down choice is, I hate that they've put all of these things which I use into another thing. A list of items. No, use a range. Equals the columns here. Right? I don't know. So we basically want, I don't know, siblings or family. We'll call it like nuclear extended. Nuclear or extended. So we could just put take that and put here unique instead of text join. And that's going to bring up siblings. And then this drop down will be siblings maybe. Which means no, we want to business drop down. So then let's just dream. Let's just be dreamers just now. Right? And so what other kinds of so we want to be able to see the family structure, but I also want to be able to generate other social structures within the society. So for example, if our guy is a town guard, then we want to be able to see a rank system. So you've got like the captain, sergeant at arms, the person in charge of your shift, maybe shift master, then your colleagues, maybe people under you. And what that means is maybe society 2 is not just values only, but is this is the place then that we can allocate jobs to. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we go over here, right, and if I take this pen, so individual, it sort of functions as a kinship system, right? This makes the people, and it orders them by kinship. And that is, these are formulas. Society 2 just now turns individual into values, right? But then what do we do with those values? Well, then we can order by some kind of we need to order by politics. autonomy so that people have roles within other structures. So we can allocate. We want to allocate status, occupation, and most important, relational tensions. Taut strings that we can pull, right? So these will be things like feuds. These will be things like obligations. And aspirations. Right, which is very vague, I understand, but you know what was vague a month ago was trying to conceive of a generator for social NPCs, and now we have it, right? Now we have it, and we even have a viewer so that we can bring up different people, have a look at them, etc. And what I'm going to be doing is building on this. I want every NPC to be a node, a microcosm, through which we can understand something meaningful about the group, so that this data doesn't just orientate a dungeon master to consider the individual NPC that they're playing, but provides them with ways by which they can reference larger scales, wider systems. So I think that's me out of time. It's me out of time. But if you are a dungeon master using Excel in order to facilitate your campaigns, and you need help or you wish to discuss your spreadsheets, please contact me, send them in, and I'll be happy to make time for you on my stream. So I'll see you later, and goodbye.